what is the 3D printer technique? Could you explain? And also, what are you doing with the 3D computers?
So a 3D printer is a means for using printing various kinds of material deposition technologies to build a 3D object, one layer at a time, using a computer model that you've generated in 3D virtual space. So you start with a design, a 3D design, and then you print the model one layer at a time to build up a physical part, usually out of plastic, but also out of metals and ceramics and other materials.
How can you describe the value of 3D printers for economically, industrially, and historically?
Right. Well, many industries, particularly the automobile industry, the aerospace industry, medical products industry, have long recognized the value for 25 years of using 3D printing to make models of products that they are designing and want to see how they look and feel in real space, so that the model becomes important as part of the design process. What's changing is that average consumers can now use this technology in their home, or they can have parts made by service bureaus or online stores and shipped to them. The real beauty is that people now think that they can basically make anything they desire. And this is a real change for people to realize their dreams of a personal product, either a product that must fit to them, to their body, or just a toy or a gift for someone, and they have an idea of something they want to make, and they can make anything they want.
Economically?
Economically, it eliminates time that's necessary to design a product and bring it to market. You don't have to go through all of the processes of designing molds and sending that to some other country and have it injection molded and printed out. You can have it immediately in the same day. And so that's one economic advantage. And so the time there is a big benefit for many people. There's cost of not wasting material. By being able to see it immediately and not have to, and be able to make changes immediately in the product. Of course, as more and more people are using this, they will make more and more versions of things. So that may also waste some material because people will keep printing them out. But many of these materials are recyclable, so it's possible to recycle the materials and reduce some of that waste. So economically, it's also a benefit to starting new companies. So now we have crowdfunding or means for people to start companies very quickly to manufacture, make a product that they can take to market very quickly. They can get it funded online, they can design it, make it themselves, and send it out to individual people who make a very small investment in the company. So this is also an economic change in how we start new companies based on ideas that people have.
Yourself and what you've been doing.
All right. So my name is Brock Hinzman. I've been involved in futures research for 35 years, doing environmental scanning, scenarios, and technology road mapping for a wide range of technologies, much of that at SRI International, formerly the Stanford Research Institute. Many of those technologies had to do with lasers and advanced materials, including plastics. And so when 3D printing came along, it was a natural thing for me to get involved in that industry. I was a co-founder of the SME Rapid Prototyping Association, which is now just called RAPID, for people and companies involved in 3D printing. I wrote a paper called The Personal Factory that described from the mid-1990s the future of 3D printing and much of what's happening today. So you can Google that paper and see if I did a good job of predicting what was going to happen. Since then, I've been involved in helping and consulting to companies that wanted to get involved in 3D printing, or rapid manufacturing, including materials and businesses and this kind of thing. I'm also on the executive committee for the local chapter of ASM International, which is an advanced materials society, and we've been helping educate people about 3D printing, including many students and engineers that were interested in the technology. I'm about to help a company launch a new website called Remicant 3D, which should be launching soon, which will be about all things 3D.
People are using more and more of 3D printing, but there are some bad consequences, such as printing guns, or some people are worried about printing, organs and all this. What do you think about all these bad effects?
Well, first of all, I think printing guns is kind of what we call a red herring. I'm not so concerned about that. We already have way too many guns in the world. It's very easy to get a gun if you want a gun. So I'm not concerned about people using 3D printers to make guns. It's not a very good way to make a gun, actually. The main concern is that if you make it out of all plastic, that maybe it's not detectable in a security screening device. But I think the security people will begin to learn to look for what those things will look like. As far as printed organs and this kind of thing, I think this would be a big benefit to society, to be able to to do bioprinting to print organs, replacement organs for people who are waiting for new organs for transplants, and who need customized, or they need that needs to fit their body and to be able to interact with their body in a way that's healthy. And I think being able to do customized 3D printing of organs and this kind of thing, it would be a big benefit to society.
What 3D printing will change the most? Which industry, or what kind of social changes do you foresee?
Yeah, that's hard to say. I think it has the potential to change every manufacturing industry, and depending on what kinds of new products result from that, it could change also many of the processing industries, at least to a certain extent. I think that it could change the drug making industry if we have new industrial equipment that's based on 3D printed of various kinds of chemical reactors and this kind of thing. So potentially it could affect virtually every industry, and it also affects the way new companies form and come into the marketplace. So I think it's disruptive in how they operate and how new companies form. So it could be disruptive in many ways, I think.